Hello, thank you. Yes, robots are our friends. What this basically means is so often what I see people talking about marketing automations is something that they feel they should do, or it makes their life easier. But actually, what the most important thing is it makes your supporters much happier and much more engaged. And the byproduct is it also makes your life easier. And this, this is the first definition you get on Google from HubSpot, who I, have a lot of time for. And again, it's like, have to automate repetitive tasks, it makes it easier. And that's literally how they're being described, rather than really exciting things. As Wayne introduced me kindly, I am Keira from Engaging Networks, which is a digital platform that's being used for over 400 not-for-profits use it for their digital engagement, and that includes marketing automation. So we've got some cool case studies and data, and yes, I'm going to keep talking this fast. So I went back and thought about, the first automation that got me excited in life, and it was this, Furby. Anyone remember this? Late 90s, expensive toy. We've got somebody waving up at the back there. Yes, so it was a quite pricey toy that a friend of mine had, and what it did is you got it out of the packet, you put the batteries in, and it started talking Furbish. And what you came with this little booklet, and this little booklet was how to teach it English. And you can see it's got a little sensor on its head, so you could have knew when it was engaging with you, and in time, it would learn English. This blew my mind. It was like, this is the future, this is artificial intelligence. But of course, I then learned that what's really happening is it just is programmed to start speaking English out of a certain amount of time, right? So a little bit disillusioned there. But the point was still, I knew it was a machine, right? And I knew it was engaging me in a mechanical kind of way, but it still got me really excited. So imagine if these automations, which we'll be talking about, are responding in a more kind of slightly more human way. So this is what marketing automation is. It's, you probably know roughly what it is. It's usually an email chain. We're going to mostly talk about email. That should have, hopefully, like decision points along the way, depending on how people respond on that email chain, which was triggered, say, by signing up to a list. That can take them off in different directions. That's a pretty one. That's a not so pretty one. So I talked a little, just touched on benchmarking data. We send an insane amount of emails through Engaging Networks on behalf of our clients. If you're with Gwyn's session this morning, he talked about how things like welcome journeys not only improve your open rates, but improve deliverability for your whole list. So, there's a lot of reasons why you should be putting marketing automations in place. And I also looked at the data. So last year I did the benchmarking data presentation, and I found that out of our most engaged our clients with the most engaged email list, half of them were using marketing automations. Now, last year, that was 70% of the most engaged lists were using marketing automations, but on average, they had 5 automations, and that's on average. There were organizations that had 10 or 11 marketing automations set up. So even if a few of them are tests, which we assume they are, that's still a number of marketing automations set up. So this is where I'm going to award some gold stars. Who's got a marketing automation set up at the moment? Hands up. Okay, keep your hand up if one of those marketing automations you have is not a welcome journey. Okay, well, 5 or 6 gold stars. Good, good. Brilliant. Yes, because they can be used for all sorts of things. Typically, welcome journey is where people are using them, but they can be reactivation, they can be freemium type content. These are examples that we see clients using them for, so like a daily email, prayer emails over Lent, recipes over Veganuary, then some more kind of mechanical things like declines and upgrades, and welcome series for other kinds of channels within your supportive base. So here's an example of a reactivation campaign. It's not a new example. This is from kind of about a year ago or so, but it's just a really good example. So I'm going to share it with you because there'll be people here that haven't seen it. HSI, Humane Society International, found that they had, at about 6 months, this drop-off. There was this glut of people that were losing interest after about 6 months of not doing anything. So they set up an automated trigger. So when someone hadn't done anything, I think it was 6 to 9 months' time, they automatically got sent this survey. So we've got the email there on the left-hand side. The survey is what they get if they click on the link. And the most important part of this is the last question at the bottom there. So there's lots of interesting information that they're trying to capture, but the most interesting one for them, for the purposes of this marketing automation, is the last one, which says, We know you care about all animals, but which HSI campaign would you like to hear about the most? So animal testing, farm animals, dog meat trade, street dogs, that kind of thing, right? So this is what's going on in the back end. They get the first email there, it's got the survey in it, wait a couple of days, and then depending on how they answer that question, that's the green boxes there, depending on how they answer that question, they then get sent a campaign email that specifically relates to that campaign. So the first one there, if then they click on animal testing, then the first email they get is dogs in laboratories email, okay? They found that they got about 20% of this list were re-engaged. So these people that were on their way out, not interested anymore, 20% re-engaged with their list, purely based on this. So once it was set up, it was running away, and just, I think they've already had, over 10,000 people going through this process. But here are some other cool stats and takeaways as my last slide. So I said it doesn't have to just be email. We've got an organization who are integrating their marketing automations via email with Facebook Messenger, and they're working together. There's a 51% increase in gift size when they were doing those two together, which is pretty astonishing. Oops, I'm one ahead of you here. Then, anecdotally, much better customer service, much less complaints internally. The data going back and forward just made a bit more sense. Internally, supporter management are happy, and their supporters were happier too. That example, those quotes came from Human Rights Watch. You've got a lot of different marketing automations set up. Their open rates were 3 times higher. Their action rates were 6 times higher. They were seeing things like 16% on survey completions. They could just change and adapt faster by putting in split tests among those journeys. And one that was really staggering, again, a welcome journey from Human Rights Watch found that nearly half of the donations that were on their welcome journey were regular gifts. So pretty cool, I thought. I like marketing automations. I hope you do too. You should be setting them up, and don't just think about welcome journeys, and think about how they can respond interactively with your supporters as well. Thank you.